Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to everyone watching on replay. I am Nancy Hetker. I'm a demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In Melbourne, Australia. And today I'm going to be sharing some projects from the Peony Garden Suite. I see I've got Kayla here. I hope you're doing well, Kayla. And Nikki, hello. Let me pull this in here. Feel free to say hi or ask any questions as I go. I'll keep an eye on my comments. Facebook has just updated its what am I trying to say? Its template, its program. So hopefully it's going to work more smoothly than it has been recently and not lock up on me. But today I am sharing with you some projects that I've made or I'm going to make from this Peony Garden Suite. It's really pretty and elegant, and I'm going to do one with, it's got kind of two different it's one suite and one set, but it's got kind of two different aspects to it. One of them is making these kind of 3D pieced together die cut peonies, and the other is using stamps to make some peony flowers and cut them out. So I am going to do things with both of those. Here's the stamp set, and then the dies. I'll just pull in my actual product. That'll be easier for you to see, I think. And hello, Gladys from Michigan. So here's the stamp set, like I said, and I'll be using that on my second card. And then here are the dies, and you may have caught me on my unboxing video late last week, where I said I was looking forward to learning how to use these. So I've got them on my sheet. This is a decorative edge cutting. It cuts a scallop and embosses a scroll on there. But basically there are two sets of dies within this one set. There are these outline dies here that cut out images from the stamp set. And then there are these dies which cut out the pieces that get assembled. So there are really 5 that cut the flower, and then there are 3 leaves, and they each have an overlay piece. And so I watched somebody else's video on how to use these and found it really helpful, so I went ahead and did something similar to show you. So each of these cuts out 4, 5. Okay, and I did them out of different colors so you can see how they go together, and really they work from size on down. So that's pretty easy to keep track of. And then this is the centerpiece. And then they each have a slot in them. I'll pull this up a little closer so you can see maybe. They each have a slot, and they each have this same curve to them, or notch cut out. You can see there. So to use them, it's actually quite simple. You just slide it into the slot and line up that notch. Hooray, Stampin' Up! They made it pretty darn easy to do. So slide it in, and again, you're just going to line up that notch. Slide it in and line up the notch. There are all those, and then when you're done, you can slide in your center part wherever you want it there. So I don't think we would probably make a flower all those different colors, although perhaps I could see it for something kind of have an Indian or tropical feel. But anyhow, that was just to show you all the different layers and how they go together. You may have caught on my blog this morning, this is a card I made yesterday as I was playing with it for the first time. I cut all of the pieces out of Petal Pink, and then I used a sponge dauber to just sponge the edges to give it a little more dimension. I decided to make the centerpiece out of the gray granite here, and it's got a little touch of Winkostella on there. You probably can't see that. And then some of these really pretty faceted gems. They're very sparkly. So I'll put that one aside, and I've gone ahead and I've pre-cut pieces for another card using this. And this time people were talking about playing with this with multiple layers. So I have some of the Perennial Essence vellum left over from the last annual catalog in Petal Pink. So I went ahead and I cut one set of the petals in that. There, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, 3, 4. They go bigger to smaller. And I did the same thing with Whisper White. And what I'm gonna do is, people talked about adding some dimension with the bone folder, so I'm going to try to do that a bit. I haven't really tried playing with putting them together. I saved that for you guys. So we'll see how it's going here. And you may remember last week when I was on, I was saying we were about to go back into stay-at-home rules, which we have. Yay, fun. Which, you know, I don't know what I'm grousing about. I really wasn't going anywhere to begin with. It really hasn't changed much for me. But it's apparently really hard for a bunch of people to be that way. And I think it's particularly hard, I think, for people who were getting back into their sports leagues and sports teams, because now you can't go play sports again. And for people who were happy to have their kids back off at school. If you're in the greater Melbourne area or Mitchellshire, you can't, unless you have a year 11 or 12, you can't send your kids back to school. So I think that's got some people pretty bummed out. Okay, so now I'm just trying to put these together, and I'm just going to do it kind of, I'm not going to adhere anything yet. I'm just going to put it together kind of tentatively, because I'm thinking I'm going to want it a little bit, the layers off from each other just a little bit, so the white peeks through, and I just want to get a sense of how that's going to work with them all together. Yeah. Since the slots have to line up to get the pieces in. Hello. There we go. This one's tighter to begin with. There we go. Got it. Okay, so if I lined everything up exactly, then we would just have a double layer of whatever. So I'm going to put this one in here too. This one's the loosest. It's got a little more dimension, but I think I'm going to play a bit with kind of offsetting a little bit if I can. I can probably just get a tiny bit of wiggle. And maybe not even that with these slots. Let's see, maybe. Goodness. I'm gonna try here. Put a little dot of glue. Let's see how that goes. Okay, can you see that I do have it offset a little bit? We'll just see how that works through here. And then this one, what I really want to do, I'm going to snip it a little bit to see if I can get it to scoot down just a little bit since it's going to be covered up, I think. Let's see if I've just made a really big mistake. But I don't think so. See, I'm just offsetting it a little bit, just having a little bit of the white showing. I should be able to get that in there because that's pretty big. Yep. And I'm okay with that being off. So I'm going to glue that down. So we'll see here. If we've got a hot mess or something that looks pretty cool. Ah, I see. I didn't even look, Roseanne. You did say that, didn't you? Because that one's so tight. I don't think I can do quite like that. But I think I will fussy cut this one a little bit too. Still holding on to you guys? Good. Okay, and now the last one here. This one maybe I won't worry so much about offsetting, because this one I know is going to be harder to get in. Yeah, when you're not mucking about like I am, they are really quite easy to just slide in and line up. Yeah, there we go. Let's get a little glue going in there. Like I said, I'm trying to get that offset a bit to get a more ruffly look. And I gotta admit, I'm not a huge Peony fan in real life. Maybe I just never like the ants that always seem to come with them. But I know some people think they are just the most awesome flower in the world, so good for them. And I just have a plain white pistil, stamens, whatever you want to call them. I'm happy with that. That's quite dimensional. You can see compared to, this is the single layer that I did not use the bone folder. That's a lot, has a lot more dimension to it. So, okay, I'm gonna set that aside for a moment and find my other pieces that are right here. So I have some leaves, and remember they're double layer, and I cut them in Old Olive for the main part of the leaf and Mossy Meadow for the part that goes on top. And they are there are two different shapes of big leaves and one little leaf. So make sure I've got the right ones with the right ones. I did go ahead and put some of the adhesive sheets on the back of the little pieces. On the card that I posted this morning, I didn't do that, and I used little dots of glue. It worked just fine, but I thought this might be a little bit easier here if I can get the backing sheets off. Let's just pop right on. There we go. So I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but at exactly the same time tomorrow, I am going to be hosting a Zoom crafting session. This is a bring your own project and hang out, and we'll be able to actually chat by voice with each other and see what we're working on. Nikki and Roseanne and I did one of these the other week and had fun, and we thought we'd open it up to whoever else wanted to join in. Not sure what I'm going to be making yet. If you are not sure what you would be making, there are a couple of free project sheets on my blog or on my website that you can do. If you haven't done the Double Wonder cards, that's on there to download for free. And my triple pop-up card tutorial is also on there for free. It's very fun. They're quite addictive to make. So that would be something you could do, or pull out something else you've been wanting to work on. Heck, pay your bills. I don't know. Whatever you want to work on, or nothing at all. Just have a cup of something and hang out with us. And there we go. There's the leaves. Set those aside. Oh my goodness, sticky fingers. Okay, and then I have some other layers that I cut out. Went ahead and cut out a couple pieces of the Designer Series paper to fit on these ornate layers frames. And that is something else I have available for download if you want it. The sizes, both in inches and in centimeters, for these panels that fit inside these frames. I didn't want to have to measure every single time I wanted to cut one of these. So I figured them out and I wrote them down, and I've got them on a nice thing to print out so you can just have it with your dies or over your cutting station and be able to figure out at a glance how big these panels need to be to fit in these frames just perfectly. So what I was thinking was that and that. Then I was going to put that on there and add the leaves in around it somewhere, and then I've got this. Now, the two rectangles are cut out of ornate layers, like I said, and then this circle, which goes with them quite nicely, is the larger of these two from Tasteful Labels. And I was also playing with the idea of some ribbon somewhere in here, and more like some loop of ribbon or so. Anyhow, maybe I'll get the leaves on here and we'll figure it out from there. I think one like that. Wasn't quite sure how many I wanted to do, so I cut out a bunch. Sorry, I don't chatter a lot while I'm actually thinking. So I was thinking something like that. I was thinking about making the ribbon pink with a marker, but I don't think so. I think the white with the silver is a better bet. Okay, let's start assembling it here. I think I'm gonna grab some glue dots. Some dimensionals. Yeah, that's the thing, Roseanne. You think you bring way too much stuff, and then you're like, oh man, I wish I had this, and I should have brought that. I get it. Maybe your mom would like to join us tomorrow too. I know she had fun making cards at my house. Okay, how are we gonna do this? I think we're gonna go ahead and do some adhering here. See what we got going here. Straight and even. Oh, maybe. I usually find when I take my pictures, it's like, oh, that wasn't actually straight. That's not what I intended. And then this sentiment is out of the Lovely You stamp set. I really like the script. I like the size of it on that circle. Yeah, I'm pretty much liking that. Okay, let's see here. I know you know what I'm going for, right? My old favorite. Sticky tape. There we go. And now I can just adhere that on like I want it. I want to keep it kind of popped up like that, so I think I'm going to use some dimensionals to do it. Just like so. That, and now I can trim up this end. Whoop. Hadn't stuck that down yet, had I? Do some dimensionals on that too. Oh. Those diamond dot things in the hospital. Kayla, I hope they're taking good care of you there in Hobart, and they've got a good treatment plan for you. There we go. What do you think? This is, oh, I can already see that something's not quite straight, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't tend to, this is, I feel like I tend to do more clean and simple, and this is a little more ornate than I usually do, but that may not be true. I knew it when I bought these ornate layers that they were going to be a little bit of a challenge for me, but I'm actually quite happy with this. I think it's got just enough texture and life to it that it's not super frilly. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so shifting gears, I'm now going to pull in the stamp set. And I'm going to stamp this big old peony. And I pulled out the memento. Here we go. And when I've got a big stamp like this, I know I've said it before, but I bring the stamp pad to the stamp. And let's see how we go. This is going to get die cut, so I don't feel a big need to fuss where it is on this piece of paper. Yeah, men's cards. Masculine cards. Well, they seem harder because we tend to have a lot of flowers. Not that men don't like flowers, but we don't think we should put them on their cards for some reason. But I think especially if you know someone's a gardener, that's an excellent choice. Okay, and then I brought in a bunch of my favorite coloring tool, the Stampin Blends. And I've got 3 of each shade, which means that I've got the light and the dark Mossy Meadow for leaves, and also the light Old Olive. And here I've got the light Blackberry Bliss and the light and dark Rich Razzleberry. And we're going to give that a try here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a little bit of Blackberry Bliss towards the bottom of a petal, and then some dark Rich Razzleberry. Oh, that may have to go in the reverse order. And then the light on up to blend. Okay. Let's try it this way. That one's dark Rich Razzleberry. Light Blackberry Bliss, and light Rich Razzleberry. Yeah, that's going to do it better, I think. Okay. I don't usually recommend leaving tips off, but we're going to go really quickly here, so Rich Razzleberry, light Blackberry Bliss. So, what else is going on with you guys? Sorry, I probably should have done a lot of this ahead of time, but you know, I didn't have time. Or done it as 2 different Facebook Lives, but sometimes they're short and sometimes they're long. So the card that I posted on Monday here had it had the blue flower on it. It was the square twisted card that had that 3-level coloring like this. Which I thought turned out really well, which is why I decided to try it again here. That's not really looking like 3. We'll see what we can do here. Anyhow, looking for comments from you guys, and I don't see any, and I'm not chatting away here, so it's kind of quiet. Which one are you? You are the one that's all over me now. Okay. How do we think it's going here? Oh yeah, pine top is nice. Nice to get out of the heat. Maybe I'll just try going over the whole thing in the lightest color and adding some dark accents in for a bit. See how that works. Besides, faster. People here are bemoaning that they can't escape to warmer places, sunnier places right now because we're in lockdown. Well, not really lockdown, but stay at home. They call it lockdown, but we're not locked into our apartment. We're just discouraged from going anywhere. We can't go anywhere unless it's the 4 necessary reasons. Shop for what you need, medical care, work or school if you can't do it from home, and caregiving. Oh, exercise you can do single exercise type stuff. Yeah, group exercises shut down again. So, like I said, it's not a big change for me. I went to the post office yesterday, day before yesterday. Walked to the post box to mail some things yesterday. That seems to be about the extent of what I'm doing. I go to the market. Monday, Nicole went and picked up groceries at the supermarket. I did click and collect, and she picked them up because all of a sudden all the delivery windows closed off again. Okay, so there are those. And now we'll do some leaves. And stems. And what else do we know? I just don't know very much. Okay, let's see about doing a little bit of shading maybe. I think I'm going to call that good. Okay. Now hang on just a second. I need to go run this through the die cutting machine. Once I find the die. Okay, so I was watching somebody online the other week and they had a really good idea. Sometimes it's hard to see exactly how close. I can see that I'm kind of skewed on this. There's more white on this side than on this side. So they suggested keeping this cut out as a way to line up the next time you're using it on a, obviously on one that's not cut out yet, but to be able to use it to see where the die actually is going to cut and then put your die in the hole and run it through together. So if I had another whole sheet under there, then I could line it up. So I'm just going to keep that in my stamp case. And then I do have some layers as a starting point for making the card. So I'm just going to burnish that crease. That's Mossy Meadow, Rich Razzleberry, and this is a piece of Whisper White, and I've embossed it with the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder out of this suite, and I think that's a really neat look. I was going to pop that up on there, but I also think I need to come up with a good sentiment somewhere or another, and of course I could do it this way or this way. So let me look at the sentiments in this set. Here's that love and thanks to a dear friend. That'd be kind of nice on there, wouldn't it? I was also playing around with maybe putting some of this ribbon on there. So let me think on this for a moment. Sorry, I get caught up in all this again. How I want to do this. You want to move to Alaska until November? How cold it is in Melbourne. So we have been on the cooler side, which is in Fahrenheit. We've been like, our highs have been in the low, about the mid 50s. So, and that's about as cold as we get during the week, or during the winter. Sorry, I'm just thinking about how I want to do this. Trying to keep this moving a little bit. Things are different. And I'm struggling just even with the basics. Like, do I want it on white or do I want it on... I think I want it crisp, like this. Just do it one more time to be sure. Again, I'm loving that script. And I am going to be back in a moment. I'm sorry. I just need to figure out which dies I'm using with this. talks amongst yourselves. I'm over here doing this. There's that, and I'm going to make a mat for it. Uh-oh, it says it's having trouble playing the video on my screen. There we go. So because I know that I'm covering this up, I can cut the mat right out of the middle of the panel with no worries whatsoever. So there's that and that. That and that. So I can either do it like that, or like that. The other way. Okay, I think I figured it out. So and there we go. Da, da, da. You guys still with me? I'm off doing my own thing here. go. And then we'll pop this up. Play a little bit with a bow, see if we like the concept. I think we will. Just gonna figure out what size. So Glenn has been preparing to teach. He's got class, yeah, tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Online. It's like all day. Tomorrow for us is Thursday, so all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then like Sunday morning. It's an executive MBA class, and they're just doing it in one big swoop. And normally he would be doing it live in a classroom and have all these activities where they get up and move around and do all kinds of stuff, but nope, it's all online. So that's a bit of a challenge, and that's, I mean, it's just exhausting teaching online and taking a class online. So he's been working to transfer everything to work well online. There we go. And so I'm looking at having energy giving stuff for him for meals. So what do you think? Lots of hemming and hawing on that one. I think it needs some bling, is what I think. So these are the elegant faceted gems that come with this suite. And I think we need a few of the clear ones. Whoop. Yeah, not the white ones, the clear ones. Kind of put something in that space. I had one of these these go flying when I pulled it off, but I'll find it, or I won't. Okay. There's that. And bring back in this one. There are my cards for today. We've gone just over an hour. Sorry I dithered around so long, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And I hope I will see many of you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Bring something to work on, and I will see you then, or I will see you back next week for another live project. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.